Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to see this, I would like to offer a tarot or oracle card unboxing. And this one is called the Herbal Astrology Pocket Oracle, and there's a full-size one. I've linked both in the description if you're interested. And it's by Adriana Ailes. I think I said her name right. Um, it, I caught this one online a while back, and I had it in my cart forever. And so it was one of those things where you're like, do I really need another deck? Well, yes, but at the time I had a mountain of them, so I waited. But I was able to track this one down finally, and it's a really interesting little box. Like, the whole box is just very petite. This is the pocket one. And it says, open an ancient portal to discover the powerful connection between the healing wisdom of plants and their astrological rulers, and with this 55 card deck. Each card is depicting a sacred plant ally and a planetary correspondent, and the guidebook illuminates the traditional medicine applications, ceremonial uses, spiritual messages, animal guides, and symbolic meanings with each. So it has its, the atypical little book. And like I said, this is the pocket edition, so it's super tiny. It's like 2 by 3 inches or something. It's not that big. The little book is super tiny reading. So if you have eyesight, if your eyesight's not great, you'd probably want to go with the full size one just so you actually can see the cards. I don't know why they always put these little papers, which are nice to keep the cards organized, but then you have to try to take them off without tearing them, and it's a mental thing. I don't like to tear them, so we'll get that taken off there. So the back of the deck looks like it's an old deck. It's kind of cool. It's got your animals, a bunch of different animals, zodiac signs, things like that. I almost thought this was a wishbone from a turkey. It's not. It's the end of the plants. Apparently, I'm hungry. But the art on the cards is kind of what caught my attention when I was looking at it online. They're very simplistic. It's very, I guess you'd call it matte. I mean, there's a little bit of sheen here, like that. But the style is very old school. That was calendula. This one's motherwort, which I do appreciate that it shows that it's the sacred mother. What else we got here? We're looking at the reishi mushroom, which is such an odd little mushroom anyway. But these are kind of a fun little deck, that arnica. And I appreciate the fact that they're also in the little, it says in the book that they show the historical uses, rhodiola, with a unicorn. That's interesting. Amarantia, sorry. Probably not a good idea to play with those. Just saying. Because a lot of the stuff they used to use back in the day, there's a reason they saw the things they did. Interesting that this was the next card I pulled with psilocybin. And then Palo Santo, the sacred smoke. These are kind of fun in that aspect. I'm interested to get more into them. But in each one of these, we'll see. We'll just go to the first one. How's that? And as always with the books, they have in the beginning of the book, they tell you like where the person got the idea for the book, and then it tells you how to work with the different oracles, how to set your intentions, clearing your cards, which is actually a really important thing to do, especially when you buy them. If you buy them from a mom and pop shop, it's not going to be as, to me anyway, as heavy, but when you are getting them through the mail, you have no idea who else has handled that package over time, and energy is an interesting thing. So definitely clear your cards. They have the cardinal cross of a medicine wheel layout. There's the 3 card ones, present moment, which is the one I usually do for these. There's a relationship spread, that could be fun. And then there's a moon spread, which for these cards, it could be interesting to see what the moon brings in. We are looking at calendula. The subtitle here is, say it on here? It does. Teeny tiny little letters down there. It says purity. And it tells you the botanical name, Calendula officinalis. Upright, this is innocence, childlike joy, humility, purity, new beginnings, trust, and virility. That's fun. And when it's reversed, which I don't read reverse, so if you do, this is fine. Broken innocence, a lack mindset, inability to manifest, resistance to new things. Makes sense. And the astrological ruler here is the sun. Do you have a... Oh, right up there at the top. There is the little astrological sign for the sun right there. So that's interesting. Take a peek right at the second next one in the list, which is St. John's wort. Still the sun. Okay, so they must break it down by light. That's kind of fun. Then it goes through historical. Calendula was known as poor man's saffron. It was used to add color and flavor to food in place of the expensive spice. That's good to know. Calendula petals are added to salads. They are used for dye for fabric and hair. I've raised calendula. I really don't want my hair that yellow or that orange. Just saying. But infusions to extracts and ointments, folk medicine healers in Europe prepared a wide array of healing poultices and foods with calendula. Some of the uses and historical purposes were for menstrual flow. They were producing sweat during fevers, and as cures it would fix jaundice, the yellow flowers. Again, these are historical. This is not medical information. It is fun to see what the history of some of these plants are. Some of my favorite works I would never trust, but they have the most interesting backstory as to why they used them. 19th century physicians used calendula to treat viruses, ulcers, liver issues, and skin infections. Skin infections, yes. The other two, I don't know about that. Traditionally, it's an astringent and anti-inflammatory. It's also used externally to treat burns, bruises, wounds, and to help stop bleeding. I don't know about the bleeding part, but I will say if you get a sunburn, calendula ointment is like one of the best feeling things. It just takes the heat out of it. It soothes it. If you're someone who is prone to peeling, like if you're getting a sunburn, you're still probably going to peel, but it feels so much better with the calendula on there. I am the type of person who have two colors. I'm white or I am tomato. There is no middle ground. So I keep this on hand, the ointment, all summer long because it's bad. Spiritual guidance. It resembles the sun, a radiant yellow or orange flower. It grows easily, spreads its joyful self across the gardens, symbolizing the great gesture of universal abundance. Solar herbs are those of neutralizing poisons in the air and the recuperation of vital forces. That's a good thing to know. Calendula's gentle and abundant power reminds us that the realms of light, to be allowed entry with the angelic realms, requires childlike innocence and humility. Don't allow pain from the past to disable your ability to dream. Calendula represents pure impulse to create, vitality, and the creativity to step into new journeys. The radiance of calendula is a superconductor. Be aware and selective with your intentions if you use this energy in rituals, as she greatly amplifies intentions. Good to know. But it's kind of interesting. Like I said, this is a tiny little book, and just that little part I was reading kind of popped it open, so that's going to be an interesting headache with this one. But I do like the fact that it gives the astrological sign for it. Sage is the moon and Saturn, Jupiter, one of those. I am not good with astrology, so that's one of the other reasons I wanted to get this set. Rose is Venus and the moon. Up here on the top, you can maybe see that. I don't know. Need a new camera or something. But all of these, the cards are just beautifully done. Comfrey, that's what I was looking for. That one has some Capricorn energy, so that's a devil in the making. And we are looking at, I can't even remember which that one is, but that one is an interesting card when you look at what's up there. You've got Capricorn over here, you have a crystal over here, and then you've got the plant, but it's in an archway of moss. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun deck to really start to work with, and I might start integrating this into one of the different readings that I do on here, just to kind of get a little little more of an interesting clarity. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you want it during the bonus one or during the first of the month ones with the I Ching? We got Mandrake, Mandragora, which is for sensuality. That's an interesting. Might have to go through this book and see what all that says. Kava Kava, there's a fun one sometimes, which is for community. Yeah, because you actually like to be around people when you're on that. Dragon's Blood, the Anima Mundi. That's an interesting, like, just the pictures on these are so interesting. But again, this is kind of a fun little deck if you're interested in checking it out. It's linked in the description. Also, let me know if you would like to see this deck show up in the monthly readings, whether it's the love readings are kind of the way I like the way I'm doing those. But if the first of the month ones where the with the I Ching, or if you want it in part of the bonus ones as one of the oracle decks we start adding in, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you've ever used this deck before. I'd never heard of it until recently, and the more I looked into it, the more I was like, I'm gonna have to pick this one up. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do get this, exploring it. Let me know your favorite card if you have, just so I can see which ones are all fun out there. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.